This Military Affairs Forum is sponsored by Front Wave Credit Union.
Front Wave Credit Union fights for their members, those dedicated to country and community, family and friends, for banking, lending, saving, planning, dream big. They got you. They're Front Wave Credit Union, and they've been making financial dreams come true since 1952. Check them out at frontwavecu.com.
Good morning and welcome to everybody. At this time, we'll jump over the curtain for an update.
All right, first I want to thank everybody who had a part in Operation Appreciation. I think that was a very well put on event. We had a decent turnout and all the feedback I got was very positive. So everybody who had a hand in that, thank you. Just a couple updates. So first I'll cover some of the things going on in the news. So obviously Afghanistan. Okay, so as most of you aware, we had Marines on the deck there, some Marines from Camp Pendleton. So bottom line, you had Marines there that were from a with the at East Coast were there on the ground with the infantry battalion. And you also had Marines from Special Purpose Marine Air Ground Task Force, Crisis Response CENTCOM that were there on the ground, which included an infantry battalion here from Camp Pendleton, 2nd Battalion, 1st Marines. So obviously we all know what happened there. It was a tragic event. We've had some folks from the local community reach out. I'm grateful for the support that they've given to some of the family members from that. And then you've probably seen some of the aftermath of what went on social media, Lieutenant Colonel Shella and those kinds of things. I'll just touch on that briefly. But at the end of the day, I mean, there are some people who are lauding that guy as a hero, and he's not a hero. You probably know he's already resigned his commission. He's going to process that in Marine Corps. The bottom line, within the ranks, we just can't have those kinds of things going on. We all swore an obligation to the Constitution. It's not our right to go and criticize our civilian leaders out in public on social media. There's numerous violations that he committed there, and bottom line, yes, he is right to resign his commission because we just can't have that within the ranks. Never mind criticizing the Secretary of Defense, but also for commanding officers, commanding generals, et cetera. So at the end of the day, the Marine Corps got a little bit of a mess on his hands, but it's going to hold him accountable. He'll be processed out. And there's other means for that to happen in a democracy. It's not for the individual service member to question policy decisions. We don't make policy, we just go out and enforce it. As long as it's a lawful order, we go and execute. And there was nothing unlawful about what was done in Afghanistan, whether you agree with the policy or not. So I'll leave it at that. Okay, so moving forward, so what's next for the Marine Corps? I think a lot of you heard me talk already about force design and kind of where the Marine Corps is going as we shift our focus from the global war on terrorism. Last time I think I told you we were writing the last chapter on that. Well, now I think we're penning the last probably sentences in the epilogue on that whole thing. So as we transition from that, I think force design becomes even more important as we transition to a long-term competition with the pure threat, namely the Indo-PACOM area responsibility. So I think we're in that kind of inner war period, if you will, where things are going to be quiet, but a lot of things that we will be doing will probably be under the radar, below the belt, so to speak, as we enter into the long-term competition phase. And I talked briefly on that last time, but I think the Marine Corps is going to get more engaged in that space as you start talking influence operations, intelligence collections, and those kinds of things as we set conditions and try to take advantage and create advantage for us against a pure threat should we go to conflict, but also looking for off ramps and ways to mitigate escalation against an adversary. So that's what's probably next for the Marine Corps as we move forward. Still a lot of changes taking place. A lot of it is going to be largely determined by fiscal resources, which, as you know, are pretty scarce. So there are a lot of audibles going on right now within force design. Most of it to you will be transparent, though within internal to the Marine Corps, obviously we'll feel those changes. But at the end of the day, by and large, force design and wave top level theory is going to be executed the way I told you guys. So that's what's next for the Marine Corps. The other thing that's recently in the news, you guys probably seen the COVID vaccine is now mandatory for service members across the Department of Defense. So we're in the process of implementing that mandatory vaccinations now. Obviously, it's largely dependent upon supplies at the naval hospitals, clinics, et cetera. But at the end of the day, right now, those that refuse have a potential to submit for a religious exemption. Those are going to be handled up at headquarters of Marine Corps. It's going to be a 3-star that's actually looking at those individually. So we'll see where that goes. The bottom line for those that refuse, it's going to be the minimum administrative action, basically a negative counseling entry in their record book. They will not necessarily be administratively separated from the service for that. However, if they have other instances of documented misconduct in the service record book, and now they have this on top of it, that could be grounds to separate them from the service. So we're just entering that phase now and executing that. So more to follow on that, but that's where we stand on COVID. A good news story, but I just gave you a lot of bad news, I think. We are going to have our Marine Corps birthday ball. The Commander General just blessed off on that yesterday. So 12 November, Omni La Costa. I'll get the invite out to you, Scott, so you can send it out to those that want to attend. but we will be holding a birthday ball here. So that is good news. So we did not do it last year. Okay, with that, I will turn over. You guys have any questions? Maybe. Yeah.
Wasn't there a group that used to take old ball grounds and who was that?
That was Armed Services YMCA.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, the one, yeah. Services.
I'm cleaning out the closet. All those ball grounds that I had to wear are gone.
I think some of the chaplains are also, drop it off.
If someone or organization or business wanted to somehow, reach out for the families of the 13, and give in some way, monetarily or something is.
Just send it to me.
Okay.
So like I said, I already had some people to visit Oceanside reach out, and I linked them up with the commanding officer for that unit.
Okay.
So I get them in touch with our folks.
Okay, thank you.
Colonel, quick question for you. Is there, I know Toys and Tots is going to be starting up now. We're kind of in the 90-day window, so to speak. Do you have any official times or dates when the campaign that's going to be floodgates open?
That's Marine Corps Reserve sites. I have no part in that at all. So I imagine they're going to do what they normally do. But again, I have no connections to them at all.
It's a total reservist thing. It's gone civilian now, so it doesn't go just to the military families any longer. So the Marine Corps kind of took a step back, and it goes to children in the area, but not just the Marine Corps.
Well, Colonel Daniel, if you are general, are you still coming here?
First, I will not be a general. Let's make that clear right now. But if I was to become general, no, I probably wouldn't be here. No.
Colonel, when will the general decide if he's going to go forward with Operation Military Expo on Camp Pendleton?
I don't know. I can ask them. But what's the date for that?
It's February 2nd and 3rd. They just canceled the Quantitative one. And my magazine's going to be the show program for that expo if it happens. And I just wanted to find out, the sooner I can find out, the better off I'll be.
Yeah, I mean, as you probably know, nobody has a crystal ball here as far as what's going to happen with COVID. So a lot of things we thought we were going to be doing kind of took a couple steps back. It appears right now that we're starting to come back down on numbers, at least what I'm tracking at my level. So I'd like to think that's going to continue, but we've been there before. So more to follow. I'll ask, but again, 1,000 things can change between now and February. So.
I would think they would make a decision by November 1st, wouldn't you think?
Potentially, but again, some of this stuff that gets pushed down on us is from higher too. Like mask mandate. I got a Marine asked me yesterday, well, sir, why do we have to wear masks indoors? It was the Secretary of Defense that had to. I follow orders just like you do. So more to follow on that. I'd like to say yes, and be optimistic, but I can't guarantee that.
Okay.
Any other questions? Sorry, I just wanted to take a second. Operation Appreciation. We appreciate your time that you spent out there, you and the General both. It was nice to see you. And just a real quick, small world story. My office manager, who's a retired Marine, worked with the Colonel. So as I was introducing them, they both had that look. And kudos to you for the memory, sir. He knew his last name, remembered everything. It was very impressive. So anyway, thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you.
All right, well, moving right along, we have a great guest speaker today, Miss Andréa Griffin, Vets Community Connections Coordinator. Welcome.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for saying my name correctly. Well, good morning, everyone. As I was introduced by Joshua, my name is Andréa Griffin. I am the Connections Coordinator with Vets Community Connections. I am also an Army veteran. I'm a daughter of 2 Army veterans, and I'm a mother of an Army veteran and a little confused Navy veteran. Just kidding. The only time we compete is when we have the game. That's it. Otherwise, we're across the board. We love each other. But first of all, I wanted to say thank you for allowing me to present this morning. This particular topic is very personal, obviously, because I'm an Army veteran, but I'm a mother of 2 post 9/11 vets. And I keep my pulse on them very tightly because of some of the things that they experience. As some of us may know, September is Suicide Prevention Month. And Vets Community Connection had the honor of conducting a survey on the topic and the importance of connectivity in the military veteran community. And this is our 2021 Community Connection Survey findings. Overview of VCC. We connect to veterans, military, and families throughout the county of San Diego. And that doesn't mean that they're the only people that we work with. We get calls from all over the United States, and we have a network of partners that if we can't help them from resources here, obviously, then, you know, we outsource. Our direct connections with San Diego offers career networking, education and training, exclusive business discounts, recreation, arts and entertainment, volunteerism, scholarship, and numerous other things. How it works, I would get a phone call. I'm the connections coordinator. So if it's a phone call, it comes to me. If it comes to the website, it comes to me. And if social media, you know, we kind of spread the love. So basically, I'm the front end person who receives the call, who receives the request, and then we move forward. And just an example of some requests that are kind of like an outlier. I had a Vietnam veteran caregiver call about the veteran in Lakeside needing an air conditioner. I reached out to a certain supplier, won't name them because they don't pay us for advertisement. But anyway, they're in the process of providing the air conditioner for the veteran. So that's just, you know, we get many other calls, but that's just an example of some of the impacts and things that we do. I just wanted to give you a few statistics that I kind of looked at before this presentation. On an average, there's 123 suicides each day in the US. It's the 10th leading cause of death. And according to a study done by the National Institute of Health, social connections act as a buffer against the impact of stressful or negative life impacts on mental health. And there was a USO article that I read that in 2021 research, now this number blew me away, 30,177 active duty personnel and veterans who served post 9/11 died by suicide, compared to the over 7,000, I don't have an accurate count on that, of the personnel who died in combat. 30,177 individuals. That number is just, I'm speechless. Our survey findings, with the support of the Centers for Disease Control, VCC conducted this survey with the goal of contributing the evidence for the upstream veteran suicide prevention approaches. We had two goals: to identify how to connect post 9/11 veterans, military, and their spouses to the community, and also to determine what connection needs they would welcome and utilize. Because we don't just want to be providing things that aren't useful. We want to know what, you know, how we're meeting the mark and what it looks like for them. Key findings: veterans, militaries, and spouses feel that the additional networking community on a wide spectrum of topics: careers, networking opportunities, 80%, education and training, 73%, social services and other offerings, 67%, recreation, local businesses and discounts, volunteer, which I like the fact that that was 64%, scholarship opportunities. And, you know, like I mentioned, we have so much more. One of our tier ones is career networking. We have now on the platform of podcasts, Careers in the Community, where we partner with organizations and businesses and record. And we had it virtual up until April, but now we have podcasts where you can view it anytime. Key findings: military, veterans, military spouses, they feel supported. Do they feel supported by the San Diego community? I love this number. 85% agreed or strongly agreed that San Diego community cares for veterans, military, and their family. I can stand here and say, yes, I'm an Army veteran, and I know what I received when I moved here to San Diego 5 years ago. I felt cared for. A amount of time living in San Diego had little impact on how connected an individual feels. And that's true. I've been here 5 years. I still feel the same way. Strong interest in additional networks was consistent across military status and genders. There's a role for everyone in filling key connections identified in this survey. We all here are attached to an association or organization. That's career networking. I'm sure work-life balance, we have recreational opportunities that we either need to, be a part of, or we'd like to share with other people. Education, training, and information. And that's a key component, because how do you switch gears when it's time for retirement? How do you go from what you did for 20 years or however many years you served in the military, and then now you're part of the civilian sector? That's a huge component for us. Volunteer. One of the things that I've learned in my situation as a veteran is when I'm giving back to others, I don't have a whole lot of time to feel or focus on what's going on with me. It's beyond me. Be a part of VCC's resource network. We would love for you all to connect with us. Share your expertise on your topics, your career paths, your education, training, and avenues, recreation and volunteer activities. For local businesses, we offer ways for you to provide exclusive business discounts. And that's it. So are there any questions?
You mentioned that, that people from all over the country, contact you, not just the San Diego. But you're based in San Diego?
Yes.
And then do you have satellite offices around the country, or?
No, prior to COVID, we had an office in South Bend and one in, I think, Mariposa, Arizona. But now everything is here in San Diego.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're servicing not just San Diego, the whole country.
Well,
yeah.
On a small scale, but
Sure.
our main focus is San Diego County. So, which I didn't have any idea until I started this position, how vast San Diego County is. So, any other questions for me? Awesome. Well, thank you so much again for your time, and I really appreciate it. And for those of us who are, part of the military community, thank you for your service. Thank the families who supported us. And I'll be definitely holding a special place in my heart on Saturday as we commemorate 20, that's crazy, 20 years ago that we experienced one of the most horrific things I know in my lifetime. Thank you all. Thank you.